A very good afternoon. This is Lunchtime News here on TV1. For the news first team, I am Rochelle Tumodar. Now, before we head into stories in detail, as always, let's start off with your headlines.
Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka considering request to increase electricity tariff. Discussion on Monday over the delays and cancellations at Sri Lankan Airlines. Mulativ magistrate resigns. Letter sent to the Judicial Services Commission. Heavy rains batter many areas in Sri Lanka. Environmental organizations allege that programs to prevent elephant train collisions have stalled. US calls for full and fair investigation into Canada's allegations against India.
Now on to your top story this afternoon. The Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka said they are currently considering the request made by the Ceylon Electricity Board to increase the electricity tariff. PUCSL Chairman Professor Manjula Fernando confirmed this to News First. The Ceylon Electricity Board said that it has requested the PUCSL to allow the electricity tariff to be increased to cover the cost. CB General Manager Dr. Narendra Silva said additional costs were incurred for the power generation due to the inability to produce the expected amount of hydropower this year. The expected hydropower capacity this year is 4,500 gigawatt hours. However, only 3,750 gigawatt hours was generated. He said additional costs had to be borne as 750 gigawatt hours had to be procured from thermal power plants. Dr. Narendra Silva said the request was made on Wednesday the 29th to cover the additional cost of power generation under the prevailing condition. He added that all relevant data will be provided to the PUCSL on Monday the 2nd. Minister of Ports and Aviation Nimal Siripala De Silva says that a discussion regarding the measures to be taken on the cancellation and delay of Sri Lankan flights will be held next Monday. The minister said the discussion will be held with the trade union representatives.
In the past few days, many flights operated by Sri Lankan Airlines were either delayed or cancelled due to various reasons. Two flights were delayed and another flight had to be cancelled yesterday as well.
Cancel උනාලු ඊයේ. අද යන්න එන්න කිව්වා. අද ෂීට් නැල්ලු. හැටෙන්නලු. 12 මාරට ආවේ 3ට ෆ්ලයිට් එක ඇතුළට යන්න තියෙනවා කියලා. කැන්සල් වෙලා මොනවා කරන්නද? ඉතින් ආපස්සට යනවා දැන්. දුබායි යන්න කියලා ආවේ.
I came yesterday as well to go to Dubai. They gave me a ticket to come today, but the flight is full, so I'm going back for the second time.
ආයෙ ගෙදර යනවා දෙවනි දවසට.
Mulativ Magistrate and District Judge T. Sarwan Raja has resigned from his post. The resignation letter has been forwarded to the Judicial Service Commission. Now on to more news. State Minister of Finance Ranjit Siambalapitia expressed his views on the collection of taxes.
පාර්ලිමේන්තු ආංශිකාරක සභාවේදී කියලා තිබ්බා මේ බදු ගෙවන්න නැති අයගේ දීපල වාරිසන්තක කරගන්න කියලා.
ඇත්තම මේ ආංශික කාර්ක සභාවලින් විශේෂ කරුණු පෙන්වලා දෙනවා. ඒවා හරි වැදගත්. මාධ්‍යවලුත් මම
The sectoral oversight committees point out important facts. Even the media provides huge publicity for those statements. But as a government, the duty that we have is to practically implement them. Confiscating property in a situation where government is in need of funds while the people are also under pressure is the last resort according to the Act. Thus, before going to that step, we try out other ways, such as explaining the situation in a friendly manner, providing a certain time period, or allow payments in installments. Another step that is available is to hold their bank accounts under the Act, or we can even request whatever the income resources of the people to be sent to the Inland Revenue Department. Thus, as a government and as the Inland Revenue Department, it is after all these steps that we go for the last resort, which is the confiscation of property, because the government is also in need of funds. But we also equally consider the general public that is under pressure as a result of this economic condition.
දැවන්ත ආර්ථික අර්බුදයක් තුළ පීඩාවට පත් වුණු බදු ගෙවන්න පිළිබඳවත් අපි හැම විටකම සාධාරණ විදිහට බලන්න ප්‍රායෝගිකව මේ හැම විටම කටයුතු කරමු.
Parliamentarian Partali Chambika Ranavika expressed the following views regarding the second tranche from the IMF.
අපි දැන් ඉන්නේ ජාත්‍යන්තර මූල්‍ය අරමුදල අපිට යම් සිටියමක් දීලා තිනවා මේ පාරේ ඵලයල්ලයි කියන. අපි ඒ පාරේ යමින් ඉන්නවා. පළවෙනි මාණ්ඩලික ගිවිසුම කියලා කියන්නේ ඒකනේ නිලධාරීන් අතර ගිවිසුම. ඒ ගිවිසුම මේ මාසෙන් අවසන් වෙනවා. ඊළඟට මේ 6 මාසයේ ප්‍රගතිය මත අපි තව ගිවිසුමකට එළඹිය යුතුයි. අපි දන්නේ නැහැ ඉදිරි කාලෙදි කොහොම වෙයිද කියලා. අපේ ඇප කැන්සල් වෙයිද? එහෙම නැත්නම් අපිට මේක ලැබෙයිද කියන එක ගැන අපට පැහැදිලි නැහැ. හැබැයි ඕන් වැදගත් කරුණු තුනක්
The International Monetary Fund has given us a roadmap to follow. Right now, we are following that roadmap. The staff level agreement ends from this month. We must enter into another agreement for 6 months based on the progress we made. It is not clear whether we'll be getting this agreement, but they raised 3 important tasks we must complete. Firstly, they said that they cannot clearly say the method in which we repay our external debt. Secondly, they proposed that we increase our income, but 15% of the income we were expecting was not earned. That is how the IMF reported it. The IMF said that they are not satisfied with the fact that we have not reached our targets. The third is a much broader reason. Today, we don't feel the burden of fuel queues, goods shortages and other issues. Electricity is provided 24 hours. We feel a temporary relief. However, the IMF says that this situation is temporary. They say that this is not long-term or sustainable. They have said the country's economy is contracting. They have issued a warning. These are the 3 basic points we have raised. Therefore, remember, creditors, countries, individuals and finance companies are waiting for their repayments. Only one company has gone to courts. Others are waiting to do the same. Until we discuss with them, the second agreement with the IMF is unsure.
රටේ ආර්ථිකය ගැන නැංවිලා තියෙනවා කියලා. මේ මූලික කරුණු තුන උන් කියලා දෙනවා. ඒ නිසා මතක තියාගන්න අපි දිහා ලෝකේ අපට ණය දීපු ණය හිමියෝ රටවල් මූල ආයතන උජ්ජලයෝ බලාගෙන ඉන්නවා. එක ආයතනයයි ඉඳන් නඩුමකට බහැලා තියෙන්නේ. අනික් කට්ටිය නඩු කියන්න බලාගෙන ඉන්නවා. මේ මූල්‍ය අරමුදල මොනවද අපිට කියන්නේ? අපි මොනවද විදේශ ණය හිමියොත් එක්ක කතා කරගන්නේ කියලා ඒක අපිට කරගන්නකම් මේ මූල්‍ය අරමුදලේ දෙවෙනි ගිවිසුමක් දෙවෙනි මාණ්ඩලික ගිවිසුමක් ඒ ණය වාරිකයක් ලැබෙන්නේ නැති බව දැන් පැහැදිලි.
SJB MP SM Marika says it is a cause of concern whether proper attention has been given to developing the country with the available domestic resources.
The minister said that 1 million tourists arrived in the country. However, what do we have to cater to the visitors who visit Colombo for 2 days? Have we developed the Devala Zoo to increase revenue? When we did not have technological advances, there were many initiatives in Sri Lanka. It was Sri Lanka that launched many initiatives in Asia. However, now we are the poorest in Asia. The small exhibitions tell us that we can venture into the path of development by using the domestic resources without borrowing further and without taxing the people further.
දේශීය සම්පත් වලින්ම මේ රට දියුණු කිරීමේ මාර්ගය මේ රටට ඩොලර් හැදීමේ මාර්ගය තියෙනවා කියන එක මේ කුඩා ප්‍රදර්ශනයෙන් අපට දැක ගන්න පුළුවන්.
The MP was speaking at the opening of the Niki Nivasanthe exhibition in Piliyandala. Sri Lanka Police, Sri Lanka Army, Prisons Department and other state agencies set up stalls at the premises.
Many areas in Sri Lanka have been battered by torrential downpours, inundating roads and disrupting the movement of traffic.
Lieutenant Colonel Aravinda Amarasekara, the Assistant Director of the Kalathura District Disaster Management Centre, said that 2 spill gates of the Kukuleganga Reservoir were opened due to heavy rains, releasing 110 cubic meters of water per second. Several roads and low-lying areas in the Naragala, Govinna, Ratiyala areas in the Bulat Singhana Divisional Secretariat Zone and the Veheravatta, Walpita, Yala, Remuna areas in the Maduravala Divisional Secretariat Zone were inundated after the Kukuleganga broke its banks. News First correspondents said that heavy fog was experienced in the Rangala area in Teldenia in Kandy. Sri Lanka Police requested motorists to exercise caution when using roads in the hill areas.
The Department of Irrigation said the water levels of the Nilwala, Gin and Kalu rivers is increasing due to the prevailing showers. Director, Hydrology and Disaster Management, Department of Irrigation, Engineer SPC Sugishwara said people on either sides of the rivers should remain vigilant. The Department of Meteorology predicts showers or thunder showers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamuwa, southern and northwestern provinces and in the Kandy and Nuwara districts. Fairly heavy showers above 50 millimeters can be expected at some places in the western and Sabaragamuwa provinces and in the Galle, Matara and Putlam districts. The Met Department predicts a few showers will occur in the northern province and in the Anuradhapura district. Fairly strong winds of about 40 to 45 kilometers per hour can be expected at times in the western slopes of the Central Hills, the northern, north central and northwestern provinces and in the Trincomalee and Hambantota districts. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in Ampara and Batticaloa districts during the evening or night. The landslide warning issued for several divisional secretariats in the Kalutara, Kandy, Matara, Ratnapura, Galle, Hambantota and K-Galle districts has been extended till Friday afternoon.
Now, meanwhile, police request the public to be cautious when going on trips during the long weekend holiday with the prevailing showery weather conditions.
Starting
from today, it is a long weekend. Showery weather conditions can be observed across the country. Therefore, if anyone is planning to drive, we would urge everyone to be mindful when doing so and to be careful of the unexpected puddles on the road. Do not violate road rules and avoid driving under the influence. We also request you to be mindful of the speed limits, especially when traveling on the highway. Further, if you are going to bathe from natural waterways, you need to be extra cautious and pay special attention to notices displayed at various places regarding this. The same applies to bathing in coastal areas as well.
Now on more local news, environment groups allege that the programs that were introduced to minimize elephant train collisions have stalled. The senior advisor of the Centre for Environmental Justice based in Sri Lanka, Hemantha Vitanage, said that in the recent past several programs were launched to prevent wild elephants from colliding with trains along the Habrana railway route. Hemantha Vitanage said that all these programs have come to a standstill. The wildlife are paying for this delay with their lives. On Thursday, the 28th morning, 4 elephants died after colliding with the night mail train that was operating from Colombo to Kankasanture, and this collision took place between the Galgamuwa and Abampula railway stations. In addition, a female and a calf died after colliding with a train at the 125th kilometer post in Palugasweva, Habrana. Speaking to News First, an official from the Department of Wildlife said that wildlife officials do not travel in train engines along Habrana railway route.
News First with the people.
Now on to news overseas. The United States has said there ought to be a full and fair investigation into Canada's allegations that the Indian government was involved in the killing of the separatist Sikh leader in British Columbia earlier this year. Canada has accused India of being involved in the killing of Sikh separatist Hardeep Singh Nijjar in British Columbia. India has termed the allegations baseless and said Canada has become a safe haven for terrorists. State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller said India remains an important partner of the United States. In more news, Michael Gambon, who played Professor Albus Dumbledore in 6 Harry Potter films, died at the age of 82. According to foreign media, the statement issued by his publicist Claire Bond said, quote, "We are devastated to announce the loss of Sir Michael Gambon," end quote. It further added, beloved husband and father Michael died peacefully in hospital with his wife Anne and son at his bedside following a bout of pneumonia. Michael was 82. Gambon was known for his extensive catalogue of work across TV, film and radio, with another of his biggest roles in the 1980s hit series The Singing Detective. One of the leading thespians of his generation, Gambon was born in Dublin but moved to London as a child. He grew up in an Irish immigrant community in Camden, and his first job was as an apprentice tool maker. He developed a passion for antique guns, clocks and classic cars that lasted a lifetime. It wasn't until the 1980s that Gambon became a household name, playing lead character Philip Marlowe in 1986 Anglo-American public television miniseries The Singing Detective. In 1990 he was appointed Commander of the Order of British Empire. 8 years later, he was made a Knight Bachelor for his services to drama. But it was as Hogwarts headmaster Dumbledore in the Harry Potter film series that Gambon will perhaps be best remembered, a role he took up following the death of Richard Harris in 2002. In all, Gambon was cast as Dumbledore for 6 of the 8 Harry Potter films. The United States National Security Agency, NSA, has announced the creation of an artificial intelligence security center that will oversee the development and integration of AI capabilities within U.S. defense and intelligence services. Director of NSA and U.S. Cyber Command, General Paul Nakasone, said on Thursday that U.S. officials were aware of increasing importance of AI in the national security landscape, and the opening of the new center was part of steps to, quote, shape the future, end quote, of AI technology in the security, defense and intelligence sectors. Nakasone said that the National Press Club in Washington, D.C., where he spoke about the opening of the center and the growing threat that China posed, quote, we maintain an advantage in AI in the United States today. That AI advantage should not be taken for granted, end quote. He said the AI Center will be incorporated into the NSA's current cybersecurity collaboration center, where it will become a focal point for, quote, promoting the secure adoption of new AI capabilities across the national security enterprise and the defense industry base, end quote. Now taking a look back at your news here at home. Today is the Binura Full Moon Poi Day, where Buddhist devotees commemorate the establishment of the Bhikkhuni Sasana.
Mahaprajapati Gautami made a request from Siddhartha Gautama that she be allowed to enter the order of the Sangha, but the Buddha turned it down on 3 occasions. Undeterred, Mahaprajapati Gautami and 500 other women, who were all ladies of the court, donned yellow robes and with shaven heads, stood outside Nigrodharamya in Kapilavastu, where the Buddha was residing. Ananda Mahathera made a final request on their behalf on Binura Full Moon Poya Day. Buddha then granted the women permission to enter the Sasana. The Sirasa Namami Poya Day programs organized to mark the Binara Full Moon Poya Day got underway at the historic Mahiyangane Rajamaha Viharaya. The programs got underway following the observation of the Atasil, or the 8 precepts, and other religious observances. The Sirasa Damsara Dhamma sermon was delivered by Venerable Naran Panave Ananda Thero. The News First Damsavia Poya Day program, organized to mark the Binara Full Moon Poya Day, got underway at the Mahagalvava Padikemgala Purana Rajamaha Vihara in Surya Vava. Venerable Andara Vava Pieratana Thero, the chief incumbent of the Kettarama Purana Vihara and the head of the Palavilla Mulika Pirivena, presided over the religious event and delivered a Dhamma sermon. A Sambuddha Puja took place at the Shakya Malakya, located opposite the head office of the Capital Maharaja Group. Devotees proceeded to temples across the island to engage in religious observances to mark Binara Full Moon Poya Day. A large number of devotees were seen engaged in religious observances at the Jayashree Mahabodhi and Ruandalisaya in Anuradhapura. A Large number of devotees were also seen engaged in religious rituals at the temple of the sacred tooth relic in Kandy. Venerable Udalpita Indaratana Thero presided over the Daham Aruna program at the historic Dadigama Kotavehera Vihara in Kegol. The Daham Aruna program was organized by Minister of Sports and Youth Affairs Roshan Ranasinghe.
And that's a wrap up for Lunchtime News. For the news first team, I've been Rochelle Tumodra. For more of these stories and for more flavor related, log on to www.newsfirst.lk. Thank you and have a nice day.